and welcome back to Invincible Asia. I'm George Clark and this is another episode of Show and Tell, where today I'm going to share with you my complete Shaolin Temple movie collection. Don't forget folks, before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring the bell and all that jibber jabber, and thank you very much for supporting Invincible Asia. Now, I wanted to try and do things a little bit differently this time so that we're not sitting here all night and I'm going through hundreds of bloody titles because the edit is a nightmare when it comes down to that. So what I've done is, because I have multiple versions on physical media of the same title, I've just kind of like clumped them all together, whether they're video, DVD or Blu-ray, just to share with you quicker what those exact Shaolin titles are. What I'm not going to share with you, however, is the likes of, let's say, my 6 German Mediabook Shaw Brothers collections, which will have some Shaolin themed or Shaolin movies in there. I won't be sharing with you my Shaw Scope sets from Arrow, which contain obviously the same types of Shaw Brothers movies with Shaolin themed or Shaolin titles in there also, nor will I be sharing with you my 5 or 6 Shaw Brothers classics from Shout Factory, again containing Shaw Brothers titles that are Shaolin themed or based in Shaolin itself. And that also goes for the Golden Harvest Volume 2 Shining Stars box set, which contains Shaolin boxers. I will have that to share with you on BCD, but the upgrade to Blu-ray is there. And of course, we are still looking forward to Eureka's own release of that particular movie. But the only reason I'm not sharing those with you is because it will take forever. They're big, bulky sets. Not all of them have Shaolin movies. Of course, the likes of 36th Chamber is in the Shaw Scope. Return to 36th Chamber, Disciples of 36th Chamber, and then you have a lot of Chang-Chi Shaolin cycle movies that are contained in those also. What I'm also not going to be sharing with you is movies that have perhaps a Shaolin monk in there somewhere. Let's say like A Man Called Hero, Thunder Cops, what else have we got? All Men Are Brothers, Blood of the Leopard, that kind of thing, where a monk may show up. And there's tons of movies. I mean, again, we will be here all night if I was to pull off the shelf every movie that a monk showed up in, because they're pretty much in everything. There's always a Shaolin monk somewhere. But yes, I won't be sharing those with you. The movies I really want to focus on are heavily Shaolin themed, and I loved Shaolin movies, much like my ninja movies. I adored getting my hands on a Shaolin themed movie, regardless of what it is, whether it was a cheapie like, let's say, Shaolin Drunk Fighter or something like that, or a more big studio based kind of film from the Shaw Brothers or otherwise. But I really enjoy the Shaolin movies, and they're very much the same thing over and over and over. They're very cliched, as are the ninja movies, of course, and some of the movies that I shared with you in my ninja collection are also going to be here in this pile, because there's a lot of Shaolin versus ninja, or ninja versus Shaolin, whatever way you want to think about it. But I'm happy with that. There's a lot to love here. And of course, then you've got the Shaolin kind of movies where everyone has long hair and they have been students of Shaolin. They aren't bald-headed monks, for example. But yes, let's kick things off with these collections of multiple titles, and then we'll get into what I have left over on VHS, DVD and Blu-ray. Okay, let's get stuck in. I'm going to work from the right so I can get these off onto the floor and be able to move these over to make some space. The first movie I do want to share with you, of course, then is Iron Fisted Monk. The first time I ever saw this was on the Hong Kong Legends DVD. Directorial debut of Sammo Hung, starring the man himself, Chen Sing, and many other familiar faces. Then I got this upgrade on this ghastly designed Sammo Hung collection from Eureka. Great restorations, great release, don't get me wrong. Just a shame that they put 3 amazing movies in this one package. But yes, one of those cliched stories I was talking about, kind of that good versus evil about the Shaolin monks versus the Manchus. This is absolutely well worth picking up. Either version, it's great. I say it's a great DVD release, but getting that 2K restoration was a fantastic upgrade for sure. Following that, I have Tai Chi Master, which I just adore. Now, this is not the only versions I ever had of this, which is the Dragon Dynasty DVD. Now, this is the American release of that. I never did pick up the Cine Asia release in conjunction with Dragon Dynasty. And then the recent 4K release from 88 Films. Absolutely stunning, stunning, stunning restoration. Gorgeous artwork. I mean, the finest release of this movie. I mean, all about Shaolin. As soon as this movie opens up, you're right into the temple, and it is a fantastic scene, especially when it comes to Jet and Chin Su-ho taking on the rest of their monk brothers. But absolutely highly recommended for some incredible Shaolin temple action. Keen Hu's A Touch of Zen is up next. This is the Optimum Asia UK DVD release, and then the Nova Media Blu-ray upgrade, which, I mean, this blew me away. It was incredibly gorgeous. It has a Shaolin or Buddhist theme around it, but not necessarily set in the temple as such. So probably one of those lesser ones, and one that was kind of on the edge of, just because there may be a monk or two in it, should I show it or not? But I feel that it is definitely part of that Shaolin collection. It is a fantastic movie and absolutely highly recommended. Chang-Chi's Heroes 2 is next, and this is the original Warner Home Video X rental that I first picked up probably in the early to mid 90s. Got this for £3 from a local video store. Didn't know what to expect. I hadn't really gotten into a lot of Shaw Brothers at this stage, but heavy, heavy, heavy on the Shaolin story, of course. One of the biggest titles of Chang-Chi's Shaolin cycle. Then I got these DVD upgrades. This gorgeous one, was this Optimum Asia? Yep, Optimum Asia, released in the UK. Absolutely gorgeous release. They did about 6 titles in all. Thoroughly enjoyed all of them. And then this was a gift from Mike Leader, and this was the American release, and a fantastic one at that. Not too much difference in their quality. I was now getting to see it in its original language with English subtitles, and for that I was very, very pleased, because there's a lot, although the English dub is classic, there's a lot that you do miss, and it was great to see, even in the correct aspect ratio, to see how this movie should look and how it should be heard. Now, another movie that I have multiple versions of and only first caught when it was released on video by Made in Hong Kong was Jet Li's Last Hero in China, directed by Wong Jing, also starring Gordon Liu and Charlotte Chung Man and a host of other great names. So this was the first time I had ever seen this crazy and wild Shaolin themed movie. It's a Wong Fei Hung movie, of course, but it's heavy on the Shaolin theme with some perverted monks there. Now, the upgrade that came after that was this cheap DVD release here in the UK, and it was probably about £3 to pick up, which was fantastic. Further to that, I then got the Nova Media Blu-ray release. That was an incredible upgrade and really let me see the difference in the colouring between the DVD and this, not to mind the HD sharp impact that it had. But that's a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. And then recently there in 2024, we had the 88 Films Blu-ray release, which took it to a whole new level. Stunning restoration, gorgeous, gorgeous artwork, a few extras on there, but nothing really to blow us away, but definitely a lot more than what Nova Media put out there. And for me, still one of Jet Li's most entertaining pieces. Following that is Lau Gar-Leung's Legendary Weapons of Kung Fu, aka Legendary Weapons of China. This again is the original Warner Home Video UK rental, an X rental that I picked up also for £3. Fucking blew me away. I mean, what a movie. It is just incredible, highly creative, hugely entertaining, and the fight action in it and this artwork I just adored. This was a movie I loved going back to time and time again. Then we had this stunning upgrade from 88 Films, gorgeous artwork from Kung Fu Bob, tons of extras on there, which is just fabulous. And of course, an incredible remaster in full HD. But again, for me, the first time to be able to see this wonderful movie with Shaolin themes throughout, and of course Gordon Liu playing his usual monk self throughout the movie there, but fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Again, the first time, sorry, I got to see this in its original language with English subtitles, and it blew me away. But still, it's nice sometimes to go back and check out this old video there. You can see Gordon on the back, which is just fabulous. But for me, one of Lagar Lung's finest and one of the best Shaw Brothers movies from this period. Next up, we have got Jet Li's Legend of the Red Dragon. Now, this is actually known as New Legend of Shaolin, if you didn't already know that. Kind of Wong Jing and Jet Li's take on the Lone Wolf and Cub storyline, I suppose. But heavy on the Shaolin theme. An absolutely fantastic movie. I'm surprised that this hasn't had a Blu-ray upgrade yet, but I only have the UK X rental and the UK DVD release there. They just carry the English dubs on them, which is a shame. But it's a movie that I did have again on bootleg video way back in the mid-90s, ordered from an ad at the back of Impact magazine, and that came in its original language with English subtitles. So I had seen it in its true form at one stage, wore that video out. It wasn't a great, as they say, it's first generation bootleg video. It certainly wasn't. It was like fourth or fifth. It was dreadful quality. But this, for me to go back and check these out again as they are, is my only option right now until perhaps 88 give us an upgrade on Blu-ray. Now, next up, we have some absolute classics of Kung Fu cinema, and that is the 18 Bronze Men of Shaolin, I suppose, and Return of the 18 Bronze Men. Again, heavily Shaolin themed, absolute classics when it comes to the Shaolin subgenre, and I adore these movies. I'm a huge fan of Joseph Koo as a director, and these are absolutely two of my all-time favorites. Recently, I say recently, it's probably already been a couple of years, with this stunning Blu-ray release and box set of Joseph Koo movies from Eureka. On this we have got both of the Bronze Men movies, but you've also got the likes of Seven Grandmasters, 36 Deadly Styles, The World of Drunken Master, The Old Master, Shaolin Kung Fu, and The Shaolin Kids. Now, why they didn't include the third Bronze Men movie, which I'm about to share with you in this box set, is beyond me, or Joseph Koo's Blazing Temple, which is another fabulous show. But still, great to have, and fabulous to finally have this HD upgrade of both of these incredible movies with Carter Wong. Just fabulous. If you haven't already experienced them, where have you been? Highly recommended, as is this box set. Definitely worth picking up. But for me, in terms of Shaolin movies, definitely two of the best. So I mentioned the third, and that of course is The Eight Masters. Now this, again, I picked up for about £3 at a video store in Belfast. It was really shit quality, but the cover really intrigued me. Again, I was a young teen. I was into my comic books. This was really like, oh my god, what am I in for here? This is like a classic kind of Big Trouble in Little China moment with all these cool characters. And of course, fighting games were really warming up around this time. So I was super excited when I picked this up. When I got it home though, the quality was pretty shit, but the movie definitely entertained me. Now, sort of around the start of the DVD market, the cheap label Hollywood East released The Eight Masters on DVD here in the UK, and I was able to buy this for just £1, which was fantastic. But it's a very cheap release and cover, but still a slight upgrade from what I was watching on that video. It's a shame that Eureka didn't include this in that box set, because it would have made much more sense to have this there rather than the Old Master, for example. But still, for me, a fantastic movie, and probably just as good as the other two, if I'm to be honest. Now, this next set of bundles is all Jackie Chan, which you'll be glad to hear. Now, what have we got first? I have got Snake and Crane Arts of Shaolin. Look how many different versions of this movie I have. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Okay, let me get those out of the way. Okay, this, I mean, pretty much this is where it all began. This was the first rental of this movie, and it's a fine friggin' movie. One of Jackie's finest from this era, absolutely. Some incredible fight scenes throughout, but this whole trans-global release of movies with this gorgeous artwork is just fantastic, and I'm so lucky to have had the ones that I never managed to pick up, sent to me as part of some fan mail that just added to the collection. But look at that, it's absolutely fabulous, just incredible, and it's all in the title, Snake and Crane Arts of Shaolin. So it has that cliched Shaolin fighters against everyone else kind of thing. Let me just put this aside quickly here because we have 3 more versions of this movie. I have a funny feeling that this might have been my first copy of that, which came out. There's a lot of these repackaged of the same titles. That was a 1989 release, that one. Then we have this redone cover here. There's no release date on it, but as you can see, it is exactly the same thing there. And then this one, again, no release date on it, but a total new redesign, which is from the Kaseki label. Yeah, so yeah, very, very different, and I'm sure there are a couple more styles of designs of these particular ones out there, but you just can't beat that. That is absolutely the finest of the video releases. Now, Eastern Heroes did a bit of a digital restoration as such when they released it on DVD, and I was quite happy to get this. It was great to see it an upgrade as such, but it was only in its English language version, which I quite enjoy, of course. That's what I was used to. Later on, when the Blu-ray market came in, 88 Films pumped out this Blu-ray, which a lot of people complained about, but I was very, very happy for. Again, just to get that HD upgrade. Some pretty funky artwork there. I do like it. A lot of people hate it. But again, to get this movie in its original language with English subtitles and HD restored was just incredible. Then they did it again. Oh my god. Then we get this with this stunning, stunning artwork from Kung Fu Bob. A new 2K transfer from the original film negative. 88 Films just knocked it out of the park with this one. I mean, I kind of get annoyed with them re-releasing the same shit over and over again. And just bumping it up a notch. Are they going to do a 4K of it sometime? I really hope not. But still, what an upgrade. I mean, this, for me, is the ultimate version of this movie. Absolutely stunning. Some new extra features on there, but a lot carried over from before also. But what a beautiful, beautiful release. And definitely the ultimate version of that. Still, can't beat that video artwork. I do love it. But this, for me, with Kung Fu Bob, is just incredible. And I will get that poster on the wall someday. It is stunning, stunning. And yes, again, Shaolin themed, but not wholly based in the Shaolin Temple. What a pun, wholly based. Anyway, moving on. So following that, I have Karate Ghostbuster. And again, a stack of releases of the same title, which is just mental. This was the first, however, I had ever seen this, and the case itself is actually starting to crumble. The plastic around it is so old, it's just peeling off. It's like really bad sunburn. Karate Ghostbuster, look at this cover though. How awesome. Why would a Jackie Chan fan not want to pick this up? Now, the movie isn't perfect, but it's highly entertaining. Highly entertaining. And watching this in its original English dub tickled me to no end. I mean, I always went back to it over and over and over again. Again, a £3 buy for me, and as you can see here, number 54 in my personal collection from when I started collecting it. Now I daren't number anything because it's just ridiculous how many are there. But very much based around the Shaolin Temple. A lot of fantastic Shaolin action there. And of course, Jackie learning from these ghosts. Now, moving on from that, there I have 2 more videos again with those different cover designs. One called Karate Ghostbuster, like its original UK rental release. And then the other named in its original Hong Kong movie title, which was Spiritual Kung Fu. And from there, it continues to carry that, as you'll see. Then we have the Eastern Heroes DVD release. Clearly not Jackie on the front there, not from the movie itself, which would just be weird. Obviously a promotional shot, but again for me, great to see this digitally enhanced to some degree, although released in its English dubbed language version there. But a fantastic piece and a lot of really cool Shaolin action in there. The fight action in this is pretty damn fun. Then we have, again from Idiot Films, this stunning Blu-ray release that really just took it to a whole new level. Wonderful restoration, stunning artwork from Kung Fu Bob, one of my favorites of his, and just seeing this movie in a whole new light, seeing it in its original language with English subtitles for the first time was just incredible. But this is my favorite release of that movie, without a doubt. The movie itself also comes contained in this Jackie Chan Emergence of a Superstar collection from Criterion. You've Half a Loaf, Fearless Hyena 2, Young Master Malaki Stars, and Spiritual Kung Fu. It's a weird mix of movies and it's a beautiful set, but it doesn't beat what Idiot put out there. And again, for me, probably one of the heavier Shaolin themed Jackie Chan movies. Now, I say one of the heavier themed, but you really couldn't get any heavier than Shaolin Chamber of Death, or Shaolin Wooden Men, as it is also known in its original title. Let me jump down to... So for me though, the first buy of this movie was on this smaller label here, which I thoroughly enjoyed. None of the clips on the front or the back are from the movie itself. They're all from Dragon Fist, I do believe, and one from New Fist of Fury. But when I first saw it, I wasn't in love with it. It was a very different kind of Jackie Chan movie, although I grew to really like it. Further down the line, we have got, of course, the re-releases, as you can see. So Shaolin Wooden Men for one, and Shaolin Chamber of Death. So obviously, as people got a wee bit smarter and used their original titles, now they probably, some fans that really weren't clued in, probably thought that it was a whole new movie with a different title, but it's very much the same movie there. But the original trans-global rental release is here, and wow, what a cover. I mean, it makes the movie look better than it really is. On the back, there's a host of clips from Dragon Fist and Spiritual Kung Fu, but it is very much a Shaolin-based movie. And again, much like with Spiritual Kung Fu, one of Jackie's most heavily Shaolin-themed movies, apart from Benny Chan's Shaolin, which we'll get to, of course. But still, well worth checking out if you're a fan of Shaolin Temple movies, because it is now a new favourite of mine, and that is down to these upgrades. So first of all, the Eastern Heroes DVD, of course, which, as I've talked about before, was released in its English dub language, but a fantastic first time restoration for me to be able to go and check out. But then this Idiot Films Blu-ray release with more stunning artwork from Kung Fu Bob, of course, seeing it in its original language, a host of extra features, audio commentaries. This is the best release of this movie, and it is a fabulous movie. Just when you see it how it's meant to be seen, in its correct ratio, beautifully restored, and in its original language, of course. It is a fantastic Shaolin themed movie. Highly recommended if you're into your Shaolin movies. Okay, moving on, and we have got the Bronze Girls of Shaolin. It's not a Joseph Koo movie. It's obviously a take on the popular 18 Bronze Men. I first picked this up on the Martial Arts Collection video, as you can see here. There was about 5 or 6 titles released on this label. The Return of the Assassin, Martial Hero, Angry Fist, The True Game of Death, and this. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have to say, it is a friggin' crazy movie. The only upgrade I ever had, and it's actually not fantastic quality at all, was on this Black Belt Theatre double release, the 18 Bronze Girls and the 18 Golden Destroyers. 18 Golden Destroyers, one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Not even so bad it's good, it's just so bad. But 18 Bronze Girls brings me a lot of joy. This cover does not represent the movie whatsoever, neither does the clip of 2 kendo masters on the back, but still, as a Shaolin piece, It's highly enjoyable and definitely worth checking out if you haven't already. Then we have the absolute classic, possibly the most popular Shaolin film of all time, the 36th Chamber of Shaolin. I picked this up later as a retail copy. I never could find this movie as a rental or an ex-rental anywhere in Northern Ireland. So this was the first time I had ever seen this movie and the first time that I ever owned it. Now, the upgrade that I had after that was the Dragon Dynasty DVD release. And of course, I have talked about it now being out there on Blu-ray as part of the Shaw Scope, I think Volume 3, with its sequels. But this, for me, is genuinely one of the greatest Shaolin themed movies ever made, and definitely one of the finest Kung Fu movies. It's not huge on Kung Fu action. It's really all about the training, the philosophy and things like that, but it is still one of the finest. And of course, the role that really rocketed Gordon Liu to stardom, and from there on in, he was kind of always known as the monk. Now, another of one of my favourite Gordon Liu movies and all-time favourite Shaw Brothers and Kung Fu movies, without a doubt, is Invincible Pole Fighters. 8-diagram pole fighter to be exact. This is the first time I ever saw it. The Warner Home Video ex-rental release. It blew me away. Even this gritty, snowy, pictured 4:3 version, dubbed in English, knocked my socks off. It was absolutely incredible. Now, when the DVD market came in, I had it imported from Hong Kong, and again, just to be able to see this in its original language with English subtitles and a longer version at that was just incredible. Following that, I did find the Dragon Dynasty DVD with a stunning cover. I mean, that's absolutely gorgeous. Really enjoyed this addition to the collection. And again, as one of my favorite films, could buy this over and over and over again. But it is this 88 Films Blu-ray release with this gorgeous artwork from Kung Fu Bob that is my ultimate favorite copy of this movie. This is a fantastic release, and as a Shaolin movie, just like, it's way up there. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. Possibly Lau Gar-leung's finest moment as a director. I just think it is an incredible piece overall. But yes, Shaolin Invincible Pole Fighters, 8-diagram pole fighter. If you have not had the pleasure of watching this classic movie, please do yourself a favor and pick this Blu-ray up from 88 Films. It is absolutely worth it. Another one is Treasure Hunters. Directed by Lau Gar-leung, starring Fu Sheng, Johnny Wang Long Wei, and Gordon Liu as a Shaolin monk. It's not all about Shaolin, I have to admit, but being part of that Gordon Liu package and that continued role, that trait that he had, very much like Lam Ching-ying with Mr. Vampire, Gordon Liu was this monk. He was just always this monk. But then that was the Made in Hong Kong video version, which was my first watch of this movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I did import the Celestial Thai release just to get that digital upgrade, let's just say. And it is a bonkers movie, but it's very funny, and the fight scenes in it are absolutely excellent. I mean, you rarely go wrong with Lau Gar-leung in front of the camera, but as a director, he's just as exciting. And this, in terms of Shaolin Temple and the Shaolin ways of martial arts, is absolutely well worth checking out. Now, another one of my all-time favorite Hong Kong movies overall is Duel to the Death. Tony Ching Sutung's incredible masterpiece of martial artistry, wuxia, ninja action, Shaolin action. I mean, everything you want from a Hong Kong action movie is in this film. It is just incredible. This was the first time, now I say first time I ever saw it. I had seen clips of it in the Best of the Martial Arts documentary, or the Deadliest Art documentary, released by Golden Harvest and Fred Weintraub. But when I got the chance to see this movie as a whole, courtesy of the Made in Hong Kong label, it blew me away. It was just something else, absolutely incredible. Then Hong Kong Legends did an incredible upgrade onto DVD, which just wow. I mean, just wow. Some special features on there just added to that. But to see this movie digitally restored and with such a gorgeous cover was incredible. Following that was the Blu-ray, of course, and Eureka put out this fantastic version with this 2K restoration that really took it to a whole new level, because this movie is incredible even in video format, but to see it with that 2K cleanup is wow. Just stunning work, and some nice artwork there from Darren Wheeling. Not one of my favorite covers of his, but still very nice. And then I have the German Blu-ray release, which is unopened here. I've yet to get stuck into this, but on it does have the German, Cantonese and English language options with English subtitles. So I will get into that soon and compare it with the Eureka one. But still, for me, Duel to the Death is one of the finest pieces of Hong Kong cinema, and definitely one of Ching Siu-tung's best directorial efforts. The awesome Prince of the Sun is next, and this is the Hong Kong Classics video release back in the UK around 1995 or so. The first time I'd ever seen this movie with Cynthia Rothrock as a Shaolin monk, I suppose. But there's not really a host of bald monks. I think they're more Tibetan monks, but it was just a movie I really wanted to pull into this collection because it is very Shaolin themed. Kind of like Eddie Murphy's Golden Child, only with a lot more exciting action, some wacky comedy. Conan Lee, Sheila Chan, and of course, as I say, Cynthia Rothrock is just fantastic. I do believe Lam Ching Ying is in there also, if I can remember correctly, and Jeff Falcon, directed by Wilson Chen, who did the Inspectors Wear Skirt series. But for me, an absolute joy. Then I upgraded it onto this German DVD release from Shamrock Media. Fantastic piece. Can't wait to get it on Blu. I really do hope that it's something that 80 films go down. But as a Shaolin piece, it is an exciting one. It's a bit of a wild card, but for me, it does fit in, and it is definitely a lot of fun. Then I have Shaolin Drunk Fighter. Now this was an early buy for me. This old ex-rental here, picked up again for about £3. I just think it is a fantastic movie overall, and I would really love to find it in its original language with English subtitles. Heavy on the ninja action, but very heavy on the Shaolin action, and it really is about the Shaolin monks versus the Japanese ninjas, with some bad Chinese folk in there also. Now, I did get the IVL DVD upgrade. Not much of an upgrade, to be honest. There's no real cleanup on that, but they have changed the title to Shaolin Drunk Master from Shaolin Drunk Fighter. But overall, for me, a fantastic piece. The fight action is top notch. I'm not too sure who's behind it, but as a Shaolin piece, it is absolutely well worth checking out. Next up, it is Shaolin Soccer. Stephen Chow Sing Chi's globally acclaimed and absolutely hilariously entertaining soccer comedy, kung fu, epic. It is just one of my all-time favorites of Stephen Chow Sing Chi's. Actually, I have quite a lot of favorites from Stephen Chow Sing Chi. This I remember picking up off eBay. I fought for it. That was when you really bid for things, like heavy bidding. There was no buy it now, and I could not wait to get my hands on this, and it was well worth it. Of course, it is real tongue-in-cheek. Stephen goes to Shaolin. He gets beat senseless by the bronze men of Shaolin. He trains. He becomes this top soccer player. Please watch Shaolin Soccer if you haven't already. This universe release was fantastic, but then I did upgrade it to Blu-ray courtesy of Nova Media, and this is a stunning release. I think I did an unboxing video for this. You can go back and check that out. But overall, I was very happy. This was then released all over the world and became a massive hit for him, obviously then leading to Kung Fu Hustle and some other things. But yes, for me, although not wholly a Shaolin Temple movie, it still fits the bill, and it is absolutely well worth checking out because it's a lot of fun. I can't deny how much joy watching this movie brings me. So now I have one of my all-time favorite Ringo Lam movies, and definitely a Hong Kong movie that's up there. I don't have a top 10 of Hong Kong movies, it's just too hard, but this is definitely up there. Burning Paradise, this dark, dark, dark tale of Feng Sayuk, the burning of the Shaolin Temple. It is incredible. And I know there's a lot, as I said before, there's a lot more movies. You've Jet Li's Feng Sayuk and other movies that have elements of Shaolin, but this kind of takes it into a Shaolin setting in a very dark way. But absolutely well worth checking out if you haven't already had the chance. Now, this was a movie, of course, released on the Made in Hong Kong label that I adore. I love this video. It is fan-friggin-tastic. And I cried and cried and cried for so long for it to have this HD upgrade because it bloody well deserved it. Well, careful what you wish for, because 3 then came at once, which of course I had to pick up. It is one of my favorites. I wasn't going to miss out on that. The first was the Spectrum Films French Blu-ray release. No English subtitles, but I was determined to see this movie in full HD. Following that, Vinegar Syndrome put out what I think is the best artwork, best designed cover of this incredible movie. That is just beautiful, and what a fucking piece. I mean, the HD quality of this, the restoration blew me away. Absolutely incredible. This, I think, is my favorite version overall. But then Eureka did put out their copy of it here in the UK with a 2K restoration. Looked fantastic, absolutely. Hate the cover, but again, to see this movie in its finest quality was tremendous. So to own 3 Blu-ray copies of such a fine movie about a dark tale of Shaolin Temple is absolutely worth it in my eyes. Chang-Chi's Disciples of Shaolin follows that, and the first time I did ever pick this up was via the German Mediabook from the Vengeance Pack, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It was beautifully put together. I can't complain. Really enjoyed watching it. I thought it was a fantastic movie, but this was highly enjoyable. Of course, paid a wee bit more for it and getting it imported. Just weeks after that, then of course, Idiot Films announced that they're putting it out on Blu-ray. So I had to get it again. Of course I did. More incredible artwork from Kung Fu Bob, as you can see here. But a fantastic film overall. You've Alexander Fu Sheng, Chi Kwun Chun, who else? You got Chan Ping Wang, Tao Chang, Fong Hakon. There's so many regular faces in here, but fight action and everything about it is fabulous. And for me, definitely one of Alexander Fu Sheng's finer moments, and an interesting entry to Chang-Chi's Shaolin cycle. Now, no Shaolin collection would do without more than 2 or 3 Gordon Liu movies, because as I say, he has popped up in many as a Shaolin monk. Another that I have of his here is Shaolin and Wu-Tang, or Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, depends where it has been released and under what title. But Shaolin and Wu-Tang with Adam Cheng, Gordon Liu, very, very fabulous film, directed by Gordon himself. This is the dubbed and sub version from Eastern Heroes, their original video release, and the first time that I had ever seen it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do hope that there is a Blu-ray on the way of this, because it would be fabulous. Not a Shaw Brothers production in terms of its production values or quality, but still holds its own against the finest there. Now, I did get a bit of an upgrade to this with this Gordon Liu box set from America when I picked up 25 years ago when it was out there, maybe 20 years ago. In this, you have got the Shaolin versus Wu-Tang DVD. You also have Master of Disaster, which is Treasure Hunters, and Shaolin Martial Arts. You also have 4 Assassins there as well, which kind of falls into that similar kind of category. But overall, a fantastic piece. What a collection of Gordon Liu movies. But I would like to see a lot of these put out there on Blu-ray. But this, yeah, I have to get back to this soon again, because it's been a long time since I watched it. And just looking back here now at it, I'm kind of getting the urge to pop it on. In fact, I might just do that after I finish recording. Now, when I talked about a lot of these Shaolin movies being cliched, kind of Shaolin versus Ninja or Shaolin versus Manchu, you couldn't get any more cliched than John Woo's Hand of Death. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versions. I actually have a 7th version on the way, believe it or not, the Cine Asia DVD release, which I just realized when I was putting these together that I don't have. So very excited to get that. But yes, for me, this all started off with the Kick video release, number 46 in my personal collection. This was the 46th video that I had bought, and this was the first time that I'd ever seen Hand of Death, directed by John Woo, starring Jackie Chan, Sammo Hung, Yuen Biao cameos throughout it, but it's really Tan Tai Lang or Dorian Tan's film. James Tien's also in there, but it gets, the more I watch it, the more I love it. And watch it, I have this version, I have this version without the Kick banner around it there, similar releases. I've got the Hong Kong Classics version here as well. And then I have the other Hong Kong Classics version. So one, of course, should be dubbed in English, the other possibly in its original language. Either way, 4 videos of Hand of Death, which I'm very happy for. Again, it is a movie that has grown on me more so as an adult. Then Hong Kong Legends did a DVD upgrade, which was wonderful. Again, just to get that first digital restoration, that real digital restoration of it was fantastic. And as a Shaolin piece, again, it's not about the monks so much this time, but Shaolin fighters who have escaped and then train to take on the Manchus. But this was definitely a worthwhile upgrade. Until then, Eureka put it out as a John Woo double bill, let's say, with Last Hurrah for Chivalry, another one of the finest Kung Fu and Wuxia movies. I thoroughly enjoy it, probably more so than Hand of Death, to be honest, but a wonderful upgrade, a wonderful restoration, and definitely the one that I keep going back to. But yes, Hand of Death as a Shaolin piece, not so much the Monks and Temple, but definitely falls into the Shaolin movie category. Back to the Shaw Brothers, I have the Boxer Rebellion, the German Blu-ray release. This was the first time that I had ever seen this movie. And again, a title that has been repeated in the German Mediabook Shaw Brothers collections that I'm not sharing with you. And this is kind of why, because some of those titles I do have in other formats from the same company. But yes, this was a fantastic movie yet again. Recently put out with the Pirate, Marco Polo and 4 Riders as part of Chang Cheh's Horrible History collection from Eureka. So if you don't have access to the German Blu-rays, then buyers and fans in the UK can pick this up from Eureka. It was a great set. Overall, I'd like to have seen them do it separately, but I see where they're going by clumping together all their Shaw Brothers releases. It gets them out there quicker. But yes, I'm just a sucker for single releases. Still great to see a much better restoration than the German Blu-ray, although this definitely holds up. It kept me happy. I was very fine with that. But this here just kind of stands out a wee bit more. A few extra features and commentaries on there, but absolutely one for the Shaolin fans. Michelle Yeoh's Wing Chun, directed by Yuen Woo-ping. Again, a bit of a wild card, not heavy on the Shaolin setting, but there's a few crazed, sex-crazed monks in there, things like that. It does have that kind of Shaolin feel. This is from the Hong Kong Legends magazine. This is the Made in Hong Kong VHS release, which is just beautiful. My first introduction to this incredible movie. I did have the actual Hong Kong Legends DVD, and I searched and searched. I just can't find it, so I'm going to reorder that anyway on eBay. But still, a fabulous movie. Not too heavy, as I say, though, on Shaolin itself, but still a little bit of a wild card for the collection. Then I have one of the few Alexander Lo-Ray movies that is here in my collection of Shaolin movies, I have to say. And that is Shaolin versus Ninja. Now, this is the VPT rental release that I picked up recently on eBay, but prior to this I did have it on German Mediabook Blu-ray, which was quite stunning. It's an epic movie. I mean, it's wild. It's not perfect in any sense. It is wild costumes, wild action, wild characters, wild weapons. It's just one of those movies you need to see. But the video was great. I watched it, even though I have it here on Blu-ray. I had a great time with it, but I have to say, seeing it in HD and seeing it cleaned up is stunning. It is a fabulous movie. I also have the alternate cover of that same Mediabook, unopened as yet, sent out by Cargo Movies. But I highly recommend that if you are a fan of both Alexander Blu-ray and Shaolin movies, even ninja movies, this is absolutely well worth a place in your collection. It's a fabulous, fabulous movie. And finally, Gordon Liu gets a 4-video collection for the OK Shaolin Drunk Monk, or Shaolin Drunken Monk, or what's the other title? 36 Chambers of Shaolin, The Final Confrontation. Absolutely not. This was the first time I'd ever seen this movie. This Atlas rental release, again picked up for £3. It's a very shit looking cover. It's only because it starred Gordon Liu that I picked it up. But when I watched it, I wasn't really blown away, I have to admit. Now, it does say that the action was directed by Lar Garlung, although it doesn't stick out in my head as being anything spectacular. Now, later on down the line, Eastern Heroes released it, and they released 2 versions of it. As you can see here, 2 different covers, which I think I bought one and I was sent one, or maybe I bought both. I can't remember. No, I was sent both as fan mail. That's what it was, because I have another copy here as well that I need to share with you. But I'm kind of excited to go and check it out again. I feel this is perhaps a movie that I've underrated to some degree. Why I now have 4 copies of it, I'll never know. I certainly don't have it on DVD or anything else. But directed by Yang Hung, starring Gordon Liu and Han Ying. Yeah, I mean, I'll certainly give it another shot, but I do have this Moonstone release. Yep, Moonstone release, which they named it 36 Chambers of Shaolin, The Final Confrontation. And on the back cover here, written in very, very, very small letters, Shaolin Drunken Monk. So yes, 4 copies of this interesting but not overly exciting movie. I will certainly check it out again though. In terms of its Shaolin input, well, it's all in the title, and of course you have got Gordon Liu there, so who am I to argue? Okay, I'm going to quickly jump on to the rest of my videos here and just kind of rush through them so I don't keep you too long. Starting with Wu-Tang Clan. Now this is originally known as The Heroes, directed by Wu Ma with action from Robert Tai. Very good action from what I can remember. Stars the incredible T. Lung, Tan Tao Lang or Dorian Tan, Michael Chan Wai Man, Shizu, and a few other familiar faces throughout it. Now it's been some time since I last watched it, but again, it's Shaolin themed, but it's not Shaolin based as such. But I will get back and watch it again. It has been some time. Jackie Chan, the Invincible Fighter, the Jackie Chan story. Again, I picked this up in America around the same time. It's not that it's Shaolin based, but it uses clips from the likes of Snake and Crane Arts, Shaolin Chamber of Death, and Spiritual Kung Fu. So again, kind of a bit of a wild card, but the only reason I brought this in to this collection is because it uses those clips from that movie. Then we have 37 Ninja Kids. Now this is not what it seems, and I did talk about this in my ninja video. This is actually called something like 36 Shaolin Kids or something like that. There's definitely not 37, but on the back there's a host of clips of Shaolin monks, and that is really what it's all about, is these kids in Shaolin Temple that are training. Kind of similar to Little Hero of Shaolin Temple, if you ever saw that. I used to have that video. I'm raging that it's went missing. I have no idea where it went. There's quite a few titles have vanished over the last few years. I'm just wondering, has any of my friends been around and maybe had sticky fingers? What else we got? We've got Ninja The Final Duel Part 2. Now this is a bit of a bootleg video. Alexander Blu-ray in this sequel to the insane Ninja Shaolin movie. On the back here you can see a fight scene taking place at Shaolin Temple. I've yet to watch this sequel, believe it or not, even though I am a huge fan of Alexander Blu-ray. I mean, huge. Ninja in the Final Duel, the first one, blew me away. It was just completely and utterly bonkers. So I will get to this one day. But yes, on the back, a huge Shaolin setting. Not too sure what it contains, but I would like to think that it wouldn't let me down in that it is a true Shaolin set movie. Then we have Shaolin Art of War, a documentary from Eastern Heroes on Jet Li, his time in the Shaolin Temple movies. But I don't believe it is a Shaolin based movie itself. It is definitely a documentary, and it's been about 20 years since I watched this. Released in 1998, believe it or not. Jesus. Anyway, fantastic piece. Do look forward to getting back into that. Such a young looking Jet Li. Very, very weird to see. Next up is the Eastern Heroes video release of Kung Fu Kid, starring Chin Garlock and Lam Ching Ying. Now, it does state on the front that it is the powerful sequel to martial arts master Wong Fei Hung, which also starred the both of them. But I don't think it is, because that was about Wong Fei Hung. This is more about Fung Sai-yuk, from what I can remember. Chin Garlock playing Fung Sai-yuk. But still, a fantastic film all round. Had a lot of fun with this. There are some Shaolin themes throughout it, but not a lot of it is sticking out in my head. But I just, again, like a bit of a wild card, wanted to pull this one out just to remind you folks what's out there, but also let me put this aside so that I can watch it later with some of these other ones, because there's a lot of stuff here that I'm pulling out that I've just realized how long it's been since I watched them, which is insane to think. Jackie Chan, The Kung Fu Years. Now, I have a funny feeling, because this is also from Eastern Heroes, as was The American Buy, that this is perhaps the same documentary. So I have yet to get stuck into it, and I am interested in seeing where it's going to go. Is it more of a documentary, kind of like what Jet Li has there with Shaolin Art of War? I also remember they did release Jet Li, The Kung Fu Years, or The Early Years, or something like that. So perhaps it's more of a doco in compared to The Invincible Fighter, which was just really made to cash in on Jackie's success there. Okay, then I have the Warner home release, video release of Return to the 36th Chamber. Now, this was my first Gordon Liu film, I have to admit, and I adored it. I mean, I watched this video weekly, picked it up at £3 at my local rental store, just couldn't believe what I was seeing, loved it. And I had seen some Shaw Brothers movies prior to that, but this really made me fall in love with him, I have to say, and also with Gordon Liu. Now, this has been upgraded in my collection through the Shawscope set, as I talked about before, but this video I would absolutely go back to time and time again, because it is absolutely fabulous. Another Gordon Liu movie to follow is Fury in Shaolin Temple. I don't remember this at all. I remember not thinking much of it. That's about it. Again, another one that I need to go back and check out. But this is the VPD release. A pretty cool cover. And on the back, certain different coloured monks, like a bronze and a silver one, things like that. So there is obviously a huge Shaolin theme throughout it. But Fury in Shaolin Temple with Gordon Liu, my goodness, an early buy for me on that one. Now, I will pull the three of these movies across to share with you as a group. The Shaolin Temple trilogy starring Jet Li. Of course, we have Shaolin Temple 1, the Eastern Heroes video release, which is fabulous. Shaolin Temple 2, Kids from Shaolin, as you can see, another fabulous release. Number 49, 50, and 51B. So, okay, so they did an A and B kind of cover system for certain releases. And of course, part 3. But I only have these three. I have seen the other versions kicking about online, and when you put them together, of course, you get Jet on the bottom here. Three fabulous movies, although Martial Arts of Shaolin, directed by Lagar Leung, surprisingly, which I have an upgrade of. So I have this Dragon Destiny collection of DVDs, and Martial Arts of Shaolin is in there. But not only that, you've got Mad Monkey Kung Fu, which isn't Shaolin based, but you have got 5 Shaolin Masters, which is very much Shaolin based, of course, and The Amazing Executioners from Shaolin with Gordon Liu also. But there is Martial Arts from Shaolin. I wasn't blown away by this movie, and I don't feel it is Lagar Leung's finest hour, to be honest. It does get another upgrade, I think, in Shawscope Volume 2, so it was really good to see that beautiful restoration, but again, I didn't feel that the movie was overly exciting. I also have the German Blu-ray, and it's unopened, Blu-ray release of Shaolin Temple, of the first one here, sent out by Cargo Movies. I will be cracking that open to check it out, but for me, those three videos are definitely a little important part of my collection, and 3 films and 3 videos that I'll never be getting rid of. But I do thoroughly enjoy the Shaolin Temple movies, and I feel just Jet's very cute in them. He's incredible in his martial arts, and not really held back from any studio interference or anything like that. This was all about letting these guys bust a move and show what they can do, and sure enough, that is exactly what happens in these movies. Then I have got American Shaolin. Now, this, for many people growing up in the 90s, was a must, and one of those movies that kind of followed the likes of No Retreat, No Surrender trilogy, King of the Kickboxers, all of that kind of Lucas Lowe, Corey Yuen Kwai kind of American Hong Kong production. But American Shaolin I always really enjoyed. I mean, tongue-in-cheek, absolutely. More like a guilty pleasure than one of my favourite movies, to be honest. But I absolutely would not say no to an HD upgrade on Blu-ray, because I feel it is worth it, by all means. And especially for a nostalgic thing. But all about an American kid that goes to Shaolin to learn the ways of martial arts. I think my problem with it was that everybody in Shaolin pretty much spoke English. And it's very cliched in its American comedy. Apart from that though, fabulous. And of course the fight action is well worth checking out. It is a fantastic piece overall. So below that we have another Warner Home Video Shaw Brothers release, which is Men from the Monastery, directed by Chang Che, starring Alexander Fusheng, Chen Quan Tai, Chi Kwon Chun. Another movie that is absolutely fantastic. I don't believe I have an HD upgrade of this just yet. I'll have to go back and check all that. It could be in one of the collections that I'm not sharing with you, but still a fabulous, fabulous movie. The cover is a bit poor, and it did take me a wee bit longer to actually want to pick this up, even though it was on sale for £3 as an ex rental. I still wasn't attracted to it as such. There's nothing appealing front or back there. It was only when I started putting 2 and 2 together and recognizing names that I knew what I was in for, and I wasn't disappointed. Again, as a Shaolin movie, part of Chang Chi's Shaolin cycle of movies, it was absolutely fabulous, and definitely one that you should check out if you're a fan of his work and you haven't already. Let me quickly pop that aside. Then we have The Traitorous, another Eastern Heroes video release starring Sammo Hung, Carter Wong, Chang Yi, Polly Shang Quan. Fabulous movie from what I can remember. It's been quite a number of years since I last watched it, but I did have a great time with this. Again, that Shaolin based Shaolin versus Manchus, that kind of thing. Very cliched in its execution, but some great fight scenes which kind of set it apart from the cheaper productions of that time. But yeah, another one that I really need to go back and watch, but definitely one that fits in well to the Shaolin collection, as does this Dragon Lee epic. And I think Wong Ching Lee. Yes, Wong Ching Lee. And this was an early buy for me. Martial Monks of Shaolin Temple. What a fabulous title. What a fabulous cover. And what a fabulous movie. I mean, this is hardcore martial arts action in the most traditional Kung Fu sense. Not necessarily set in Shaolin Temple or around there as much as I had hoped, but it definitely carries that with it. And yes, if you haven't already seen it, it is well worth checking out. Not heavy on the Shaolin, even though it's called Martial Monks of Shaolin Temple. From what I can remember, not heavy on the Shaolin Temple stuff, but still a worthy piece in the collection for sure. Okay, we got a Gordon Liu movie again. Shaolin Challenges Ninja. Again, not one that's really heavy on Shaolin. This is initially known as Heroes of the East or Heroes from the East, depending on which title you do pick up, but released on Warner Home Video by Shaolin Challenges Ninja. Now I think about it, there's really no Shaolin in here, but with that title, carrying that title, I wanted to pull it into the collection just in case somebody says, do you not have Shaolin Challenges Ninja? It is a fantastic movie. Again, probably one of Lager Lung's finest and one of the best Shaw Brothers movies in my eyes. There's a lot to love in here, but definitely not Shaolin Temple themed for sure. Still a fantastic movie though. What is Shaolin Temple themed though? Is Shaolin Temple. Another Warner Home Video release. I can't get enough of these. I love them. This is of course the Shaw Brothers Shaolin Temple, not Jet Li, Shaolin Temple. So this one is directed by Chang Cheh and of course falls into that Shaolin cycle of movies. Naturally, stars the likes of Ti Lung, Johnny Wang Long Wei, who else have we got? Wang Chung, Shan Mao, and of course a host of other familiar faces. But I really enjoyed this on video. There was an HD upgrade and restoration in one of the Shawscope sets, as far as I can remember. I definitely have seen it restored. I'm nearly sure it's one of the Shawscopes, but it blew me away. Another favourite of mine from my childhood is Shaolin versus Ninja. Now, this is not the Shaolin versus Ninja with Alexander Lo-Ray. This is another Shaolin versus Ninja, I think also called Return of the Deadly Blade. So not a real Shaolin kind of movie, but elements of Shaolin throughout it. Certain themes of Shaolin brought into it, but certainly not set in Shaolin as such. But a fantastic cover, a fantastic movie. Yasuaki Kurata, David Chang, Mars is in there, and so many more incredible people from around this period of Kung Fu cinema, and the action is directed by the wonderful Tony Ching Soo Tung. So this video will never leave my collection. I would love though a Blu-ray upgrade of Return of the Deadly Blade. I feel it deserves it. It's an incredible movie overall. And the last of the videos, we have got Made in Hong Kong's release of Invincible Shaolin, starring some of the Venoms there, directed by Chang Cheh. An incredible movie overall. I thoroughly enjoyed this when I first saw it. Really still enjoy it today. I have to say it's hard not to enjoy a Venom Mob movie or a Chang Cheh movie as such. But this, heavy on the Shaolin action more than it is Shaolin Temple as such. But definitely one that deserves to be seen if you're a fan of Chang Cheh's Shaolin cycle or Shaolin movies in general. Jun Wu Ping's Buddha's Fist, starring Choi Su-ming, his brother Yun Shan-yi, and a host of other regular faces, again kind of from that seasonal to Golden Harvest early catalogue, but definitely one that brings a lot of joy and the feel of Shaolin. There's certainly enough going on in there to make you want to watch it again, because it is a movie that I went back to time and time again when I first bought this on the Made in Hong Kong label. So yeah, not heavy on Shaolin, but definitely one that fits in quite well. And then the last video that I have here is a bootleg that I picked up in New York, 1999. Dragon from Shaolin with Yuen Biao and one of the Shaolin kids, the Shaolin Popeye kids, or both of the Shaolin Popeye kids from what I can remember appear in this. But yes, it was a Yuen Biao movie. That's all that mattered to me. I picked it up, I raced home to my friend's house where I was staying and loved it. I'm not perfect by any means, but still a great movie. Definitely has its Shaolin themes throughout it. A family comedy more so, but I would like an upgrade on DVD at least. To watch it again. This is pretty much washed out now. It's not a great video, it wasn't a great video quality to begin with, but it's certainly not after all these years. But yes, Dragon from Shaolin, my last of the Shaolin movies on video. Let's get stuck into the DVD. Okay, so DVDs plus 2 VCDs, and then I have a small bunch of Blu-rays that I'll just run into straight after that without stopping. I'm just going to fly through these. I've already talked long enough. You're probably bored. If you've made it this far, you're doing pretty well. Okay, starting with VCD of Disciples of Shaolin Temple. I have not seen this since I bought it. It came in 20 years ago, maybe 15-20 years ago. I watched it then. I watched it twice. I quite enjoyed it. It's the same kind of sort of style as Jet Li's Shaolin Temple or Arhats in Fury. It has that feel about it, but it was quite an enjoyable piece, and I did feel that it was worth an upgrade to a DVD. I've just never got round to it. Next, there is Shaolin Boxers. Now, I talked about this being recently getting its Blu-ray release with the Golden Harvest box set Volume 2 from Shout Factory, but also Eureka will be releasing it as a single release pretty soon to go along with the rest of their older Golden Harvest sets. It's not a Shaolin movie per se. It's not about Shaolin Temple. It's more about a Shaolin School of Martial Arts. But it's still a fun show, and I can't wait to get that single Blu-ray from Eureka. Boom. So there we have it, my annoyingly large collection of Shaolin-based movies. Shaolin Temple movies, Shaolin-themed movies, Shaolin martial arts movies, and whatever else fell between the cracks. Regardless, I am exhausted and I still have to put all of these back on the shelf before I start filming tomorrow for more shows. Anyway, if you have made it this far, thank you very much. Well done you. I will try and edit this down as short as I possibly can. But yes, until next time, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your Shaolin Kung Fu, and I will see you soon. So thank you once again for watching another video here on Invincible Asia. Don't forget you can check out hundreds of others here on the channel. You can also show your continued support by heading over to my new merch store or by checking out invincibleasia.com, where you can read my full movie reviews and follow me on Instagram at InvincibleAsia. Until next time though, enjoy your Kung Fu and I will see you soon.